Greetings, everyone, and a very warm welcome to another edition of Marketing the Invisible. I'm Tom Poland, beaming out here from a little Castaways Beach in Queensland, Australia, joined today by Jeroen Courthout. Jeroen, very good morning, I believe it would be for you. Welcome.
Yeah, it's morning here in Antwerp, Belgium.
Antwerp, Belgium. Perfect. Hands around the world. You're on top, I'm underneath. Let's get rocking and rolling. So for those of you who haven't heard of Jeroen, he's the co-founder and CEO of Salesflare, which is a very, very cool and very intelligent CRM built for small and medium-sized businesses selling business-to-business services and products. Very popular with agencies and very popular with SaaS companies. So if it sounds like you, if you're selling business-to-business and you just suspect that some of those leads are falling between the cracks, you're in the right place and you're listening to the right person. So our title today is how to get your team, subtext, and you to actually use your CRM. And Jeroen's going to show us how to do that and just tell us how to do that in just 7 minutes. Our 7 minutes starts now, sir. Question number one is, who is your ideal client?
You already said it, but it's small and medium-sized businesses selling B2B, mainly agencies and tech companies. It's a bit broader than SaaS companies only, but it's a lot of agencies and quite some tech startups and tech companies.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. So what's the problem you solve for them? Question number two.
Well, most of these companies have a CRM or they have a spreadsheet or they have something, but they don't really use it. And that's because the software usually comes with outsized expectations of how they're going to fill out the software to make it work. And that then doesn't happen. And then, people end up not using it. And then the whole system falls apart with which they try to actually follow up their customers.
Yeah, so true, so true. And so question 3, and 6 minutes left. Tell us about some of the typical symptoms that you've mentioned one of them already. The team's not using the CRM, but what else is happening in the agency or of a business of your prospective ideal client that would give them kind of a heads up and go, yep, that's us, that's happening in our business. The symptoms that they would need what you've got.
Yeah, I think the symptoms are mostly symptoms of them not using the CRM. It's leads slipping through the crack is probably number one. That's why most people start using a CRM. It's the sales manager not knowing what his salespeople are doing, not knowing how to replace them when they're sick, not knowing where to pick up when they leave,
right?
Not knowing how to coach them. It's the marketing team not knowing what the sales team is doing. No insight into what's coming in the sales pipeline, so you don't know your cash flows, how they're going to be.
Right.
All these kind of things are symptoms of people not using the CRM.
Thank you, sir. And question 4, 5 minutes left. We've got these agency heads, these business owners, they've got a team, and all those things are happening that you just described, or some of them. They're intelligent people and they generally want to have a very successful business. So they're going to try things, and you will have seen some of your new clients, you'll have talked to them and they will have described to you some of the things they tried, the mistakes they made before finding the Salesflare solution. So what are some of the mistakes that people make before they sign up with Salesflare?
Main mistake is probably they look for a solution, which is good, but they don't look like for a solution that will solve their problem. They just figure they need a system. They don't figure that they need a system that their team will use, because somehow it's ingrained in people that you just have to make the people use the thing. I mean, salespeople are lazy and you just have to force them. Now, it's really important to find something that your salespeople want to use. So go with them on the lookouts. Don't do it alone. Don't find something and then enforce it on them. Test something together, make sure they are involved, make sure they feel involved, and make sure that you find something that they actually want to use, because it all starts from there.
Yeah, so they have a sense of ownership and buying into the idea of using it. They're 100% more likely to actually want to use it. And I think you hit on a key point there. If people want to use it, they're going to use it. And trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, but getting to use something that's complicated or difficult or it doesn't have the graphical interface that your beautiful platform has would be difficult. Thank you for that, sir. 3.5 minutes left. Want to give someone listening to this, whether they end up working with you or not, an idea and a free action that they could implement. This not going to solve the whole problem, but it could take them in the right direction. Now, you've already mentioned getting your team involved in the decision of which CRM But what's another free action that they could take? 3 minutes left. That was question 5, by the way.
Yeah. So first of all, find something they want to use. Secondly, then make sure they understand what it does. That's obvious. So a training is usually aimed at making sure that the team knows how to use the system, like what functionality is there. But an extra thing I would advise, which the companies that are most successful with our software, is also figuring out together how they're going to use it. Like within the team, make some guidelines on how you're going to use the CRM, because it can do a lot of stuff. So you need to sort of make decisions there. And it's only when you do that the data in a whole will make sense, that collaboration will be possible, pooling segments of customers and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
Is only possible when you just, it's not difficult. You just sit together and you're like, okay, when we're going to do this and that, how are we going to insert the data? How is that going to flow through the process? These things, just align on that, put it in a document, revise it sometimes, but it will make your collaboration so much better.
That's it's one of those things when you say that it sounds obvious, but so few people do it. Common sense, but not commonplace, perhaps. So going a step further after the decision to buy or invest in a certain platform, getting a team together and discussing the best way to use it, that level of collaboration, rather than sort of being a bit like Moses coming down off the mountain with the 10 Commandments, would really empower people to want to use it. So question 6, and we've got 90 minutes left still, we want to direct people to a valuable free resource where they can find out more. Now I'm going to give the audience the answer to this just for the sake of time. Folks, go to www.salesflare, that's FLARE.com, because there's a free trial there. And I think once you hit that landing page and you just look at the graphical interface there, you should be quite rightly tempted to have a look at that free trial. And this is not an affiliate promotion at all. We're doing this simply because it appears to be a terrific product that's nice and simple and intuitive for most B2B owners to be using. So question 7, though, is the one question that I should have asked you but didn't. And Jeroen, we've got a whopping 35 seconds to answer that, please.
Maybe the question, we focus on this issue, why people don't use the CRM, but you didn't ask me how our software solves that. In very short, we made it very easy to use, which is obvious. But then the second thing is we automated most of the data input that you normally have to do in a CRM by pulling the data from all the places where it already is.
Beautiful. Gosh, music to my ears. What a great answer to a terrific question. Jeroen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. This was fun.
Thanks for checking out our Marketing the Invisible podcast. If you like what we're doing here, please head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review. It's very much appreciated. And if you want to generate 5 fresh leads in just 5 hours, then check out www.5hourchallenge.com.